With Emory Williams injured, Tyler Van Dyke is the Miami Hurricanes starting quarterback once again.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Alex Donno, your host. I'm a University of Miami alumnus, longtime South Florida sports radio vet, and contributor to allhurricanes.com. And thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. For the everydayers, we love you. We are available free wherever you get your podcasts and available free on YouTube. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. It's Tuesday, and it is a Truth Teller Tuesday. And with everything going on, had to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Warner. So, Bruce,
yes.
Breaking news of the week. I wasn't sure if Mario Cristobal was going to come out and say it on Monday, but he came out and said it. Tyler Van Dyke is going to be Miami's starting quarterback this Saturday against Louisville.
Aren't you thrilled?
I mean, I'm not surprised. And listen, and Bruce, for obviously Miami fans we've had a rocky relationship with Van Dyke, not just this year, going back the last couple of years. But, you know, I said it on Sunday. I doubled it down on Monday. I'll triple it down here on this Truth Teller Tuesday. I throw my full support behind whoever starts. I don't think Van Dyke is going to be back here next year, but I would love to see him finish the season strong for the sake of the team. And I wish the best for him. If he ends up in the transfer portal somewhere, I'd love to see him raise his stock on the way out. So I'm all in, man. No matter who that starter is, I am all in. I love my Canes.
Right, yeah, that's the answer. You root for the Canes regardless of who it is. He won't be here next year, and I'll tell you what, I don't think his backup is going to be here either. I know you don't want me to say anything, so I won't. But you know what? He ain't playing unless he absolutely must play.
Right.
Well, they boxed themselves in now. Now everybody's talking about going into the portal and getting a dual threat quarterback. Yeah, they're just all around the place. They're all jumping to go to Miami. And the way they're playing offense, you know, I'm not so sure they can get somebody. Maybe the money will get somebody here. I don't know who's out there. And everybody's talking about dual threat quarterback. And they're ripping this kid, Emory Williams, to pieces. You know, he won't be here next year, or if he comes here, he's not going to start. Are you guys nuts? I commented on a site before. Are you nuts? The kid's played 2 games. He's a true freshman. He's surrounded by true freshmen. He plays against Clemson and Florida State, and they're throwing this kid under the bus.
Right,
this kid, did Kelly start as a true freshman? No. Did Testaverde? No. Did Steve Walsh? No. Did Erickson, Craig start? No. Dorsey played as a freshman. I don't think he started unless he had something happen. And
it was late in the year he started.
Kostar played as a true freshman.
Yeah.
You know, but that's it. In all these years, why are you throwing a kid under the bus?
I'm so with you. It's crazy because and you pointed it out, the 2 teams that he started against were the 2 toughest defenses on your schedule as well, which is like so it's a weird thing that football fans do where you look at a true freshman who starts against the best team on Miami's schedule a couple days ago and you say, "Oh, 8 for 23, that's who he is. He'll never get any better." Right. It's like
that's what I say.
And Bruce, I don't know if you saw my show yesterday. You probably did, maybe you didn't. But my whole thing is, I'm not saying Emory Williams can't be the guy in the future, right? Next year, the year after that. But at the same time, I also don't think you can put all your eggs in his basket, right? Especially when you're more than likely going to lose Van Dyke in the portal. You may or may not lose Jakari Brown in the portal, which means, you know, Emory Williams and Judd Anderson coming in would be like the only guys on your roster. If you don't, you have to go into the portal. And I think you have to go into the portal.
There's no question. But to throw this kid under the bus and say he's not the starter of the future.
That's crazy. How do you know?
Next year, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Look. He didn't play that well. He played better against Clemson to a certain extent. There were guys that were open that he missed, especially Restrepo, a couple of balls.
Yeah.
But look at the pass rush on this kid. He had the guts to do what he did before he got hurt. Yeah. He takes off.
Yeah.
You know, If Van Dyke would have done that, he would not have gotten to the first down marker. Corey probably would have, but everybody's talking how great he is. To put him in, he can't pass. He has not played all season. What do you think he's improved in since last year when he hasn't been playing at all? And to tell you why, I'm not going to do it, but he won't be here next year.
God,
he wants out.
I hope he is.
So
it's too bad. I hope you're wrong about that. But obviously, I'm not going to argue with the point because listen, the fact that he hasn't played, I don't know if he wants to stay or not. But I'd love to see him stay.
Right. Yeah, and I knew at the beginning when Emory Williams got in those garbage games, and then I said, okay, the next time there's garbage time, it's going to be Jacory, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
So then I realized something's up, and I found out. So I'm not down on the team. They played hard. They really played hard. And Emory Williams did beat Clemson, and he could have maybe beaten Florida State.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he couldn't, but they ran that offense, which I don't like, but it kept the game shorter. They ran the ball. The clock kept on running. They were not in the shootout. Everybody said we get destroyed. Well, that didn't happen. So how can you complain? An 8-point win against Clemson and a 7-point loss to Florida State. You know, you got to look at the other games that we played that he wasn't in. So do I think the future is bright? I can't answer that because I see a lot of problems. I see a lot of from the top down, and we know who the top is. I have concerns. I really do. I don't like a lot of things they're doing, or I don't like a lot of things they're not doing that we've been talking about for months. You know, Fletcher played the other day. He's a kid. He didn't look good at all. He's slow to the hole. Then they bring in Chaney. Boom, right through the hole.
Chaney looked great. I don't think Fletcher looked that bad. I think that he missed some opportunities. There was one play that if he had gone to the right, it was a big gain. He went to the left and was stuffed. But I didn't think he had a bad game. It's a heavy workload for a young guy who's coming off an injury this year.
Mostly up the middle.
Yeah.
No A.J. Allen, who I thought was healthy. Again, I'll keep saying it until maybe they put me in the grave. Screen. Learn how to throw a damn screen. And speaking of the grave, this is my dad's 101st Airborne hat. He was incredible. A paratrooper on D-Day, June 6, 1944. He jumped over the beaches of Normandy. So I'm proud of him. And anyway, I don't know what's going to happen Saturday because this team's number 9 in the nation, Louisville. Mm-hmm. They're playing for the right to get in the title game with Florida State. And they must be chomping at the bit because we almost beat them, Florida State. Yeah. Boston College almost beat Florida State. So Louisville probably very confident. They're well coached. That guy Braun knows what he's doing. And that could be a great game. So it would be a shock if we upset Louisville. It's a noon game. It might be hot as hell. But we have a chance.
Well, I think we absolutely have a chance. It's going to have a lot to do with what happens under center, Bruce. And I want to pick up on something that you kind of hinted at. I want to have a discussion when we come back as to how attractive Miami would or wouldn't be for quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Because I think you're going to have some options out there. There's a couple backups. There's a couple backups at Georgia who were highly recruited, who are stuck behind Carson Beck. One or two of those guys may hit the portal. Texas, you're going to have somebody hitting the portal from the Longhorns. People talk about Pratt from Tulane. He's already, I think he said he wants to go to a Power 5 program or a bigger program, so he's going to be hitting the portal. So how attractive would Miami be? You know what you want to do, my friends? You want to keep it locked right here because we are only getting started on this episode of Locked On Canes. We spend a lot of time talking together, you and I. We get fired up on wins and losses, who sits and who starts. I'm thankful for that connection we have, and today I want our chat to be a little more personal. I just learned that you can get a 1-year supply on ED medications. You realize what that means. Being on extended travel, if you suffer supply chain issues, which have happened in recent years, you're covered, my friends. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can refill your generics for Cialis, Viagra, or Revatio. And this is possible because of our friends at Jace Medical. Go online right now at jacemedical.com to receive your 12-month supply of your daily AD medications. Oops, sorry, I put the... Hey, Bruce, I wasn't trying to hint at anything there when we were talking about these medications. So you can get your year's supply at jacemedical.com. Year supply on your yearly medications. Remember to use our promo code Locked On at checkout for a discount as well. As a verified customer, they had this to say about Jace, quote, "I'm thankful for this service. Supply chain issues caused me to cut pills in half to have it. I ordered most of my daily meds with a year supply. I also ordered the antibiotic kit. I feel secure now. Prices are lower than local pharmacies. I highly recommend this for everyone. If you or someone you love could get some peace of mind by having a year's supply of any daily med, go to jacemedical.com to see if it's offered for you. Remember to use promo code Locked On for $20 off your purchase. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts, available free on YouTube. And make sure on Fridays, it's almost Friday, kind of. Make sure on Fridays you tune in for Locked On College Football Kickoff Live, 11 a.m. to noon every single Friday. I'm so honored to co-host that show with Drake Toll and Kenton Gibbs. We take you through all the big games, all the big storylines in college football, 11 a.m. to noon live on this YouTube channel, Locked On Canes, and on every Locked On College YouTube channel. The truth teller, Bruce Warner, is with us. Now, Bruce, obviously, when quarterbacks hit the portal, which happens every year, hopefully there's some good ones in the portal this year. I think Miami can offer an opportunity in the fact that, honestly, for much of this year, I'm not saying the offense is perfect, okay? Because, I'd like to see more consistency at wide receiver, creating separation. I'd like to see the tight ends involved a little bit in the passing game. But at the same time, with so many of these games, Bruce, I come out of it and I say, Miami was competent quarterback play away from winning and are probably consistent, competent quarterback away from being 9-1 right now instead of being what are we now, 6-4 on the year, right? So that could be a selling point for transfer portal quarterbacks. They can say, hey, I can actually lead this team because I'm not going to play the way Van Dyke played in 2023. I've got more experience than Emory Williams. I can lead this team to a 10-11 win year. I think that can be a selling point for a transfer quarterback. Sorry. Start over. I had you muted. My bad.
And I quit. I quit. I agree. That is true. I mean, Emory Williams will be here. He'll fight for the job next year. But if somebody comes in that's really good, they'll probably win the job for a year or two.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree. But we have to get a tight end. Now, I don't know anything about Arroyo's injuries, but that's 2 years in a row. He hasn't done much, if anything.
Yeah.
And this guy was highly recruited. It looks like Skinner's gone because he hasn't played. I don't understand why. Everybody says he can't catch, he can't do this. But Riley Williams has done nothing. And he's playing.
Blocked. He's blocked very well.
Yeah, I guess he's blocked.
In this offense, that's super important, Bruce. And that's
I understand,
but Skinner's not very good at.
84 is in the game constantly.
Yeah, but he can't play. He can't play every down. He's old.
No, I understand. But we need a tight end that's involved in the offense.
Yeah.
None of our receivers are leaving, I don't think. Maybe Ladson because, he's been around for a couple of years. But I agree with that. We need that. We need the tight end. The rest of the offense is skilled. But I'm curious to see what they do Saturday. Van Dyke, are they going to keep his game restricted? Or are they going to open it up and just say, what the hell? Open it up and just let it fly.
Let it fly.
And that's what I think they should do.
Yeah.
Because Van Dyke's I don't think he's either transferring, but he's not getting drafted. We all know that. So let's ride with the kid and see what he can do. That last pick that he threw, I don't even like the design of the damn play he had when he rolled out and he got, that's not for him to do something like that. It's just not. So I have a problem with the play calling. I cannot say whether or not he's being dumbed down by our head coach. I might find out Saturday because I'm going to be in the players' suite again. And maybe all these guys that I see, I don't know if Zoe will talk, but I'll ask him. But maybe someone will have an opinion about that. It's hard for me to believe that Dawson does this and did this last year, and this is his scheme. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Do you?
No, I don't. I understand that there are other variables at play. Because, first 4 games of the year, your quarterback was playing lights out, and then he couldn't read a field after that. So I understand there's adaptations to the scheme.
But they still had that game in the bag.
What's that?
They still won that game, but they lost it because of the not taking
for
it
sure.
in.
Absolutely.
Okay?
But they were conservative that game, though, is what I'm saying. And the quarterback threw 3 interceptions that game. So, I mean, how and there are certain things, even when you are adapting and scaling down your offense to protect poor or inexperienced quarterback play, I still think you've got to find more ways to be creative and get the football in space to your fast play. So that's where I think there's been a failure.
Then the next week, North Carolina comes out in the second half and just speeds everything up, and they blow right by us. And why can't we speed it up?
Yeah.
Why can't we speed it up? We're a fast team. Why do we let the other team just take a big breath and let the clock run down to 2 seconds and they snap it? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. And let me also, when I was talking about Miami potentially being an attractive spot for transfer quarterbacks, let me mention one more thing that I didn't mention, Bruce. Any quarterback knows you come to Miami, if nothing else, your jersey's going to stay clean, because that offensive line is even if they lose Cohen and Matt Lee, they're still going to be in really, really good shape for the next couple years with the way that they've recruited at that position. So that's another attractive thing for a portal quarterback.
No, listen, I don't disagree. This season has been a real cluster. I'm not going to say the last word, but it has been. It's been so up and down, and you can't predict a damn thing. We might go out and beat the hell out of Louisville Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me.
Nothing
honestly.
surprises me anymore, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent with this team. Everybody's counting on the kid to kick a field goal. Borregales, he missed one.
The laces were in, though, Bruce. Did you see that? The laces were in.
There was a bad snap, and
bad hold.
And the holder didn't put the ball down right.
He hit a 51-yarder later in the game, so I'm not going to put that on the kicker.
He is good. By the way, I know I want to do another quick aside. Last week, I made a comment about these people that are fans, your fans, writing in asking who they want on the show. We got a lot of response to that.
Yeah,
a lot. And I've spoken to several of those guys, and I can get maybe half of them. Okay. I already spoke to Jacory. I said it. Vince Wilfork is coming on. We're going to get him. There's a bunch of guys that I'm going to get that they asked for. No problem. So I'm glad they responded to that, because it makes me feel good that people listen and pay attention.
Now one guy we can't get unless maybe he loses his job up north would be Ken Dorsey, because I did see a lot of people asking for him. Mm-hmm. It's pretty difficult to book an NFL offensive coordinator to come and talk about his college team, but Bruce, the way things are going up there in Buffalo.
But not in the offseason. I mean,
in the offseason,
Maybe these people think I'm meant today or next Tuesday.
Right. In the offseason,
forever. Yeah, I could get a lot of those guys. I'm not worried about them.
Absolutely.
But I'm talking about guys for the season. I could talk about what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit more when we come back about the challenges ahead. Louisville coming up this Saturday, Boston College on the road the following Saturday. Boston College, you never know what version of them are going to show up, because they got their tails kicked this past week, but I think they'd won 5 straight games before last week.
Right, and they play hard, and it's going to be cold, because Caesar called me yesterday telling me it was really cold up there.
Oh, he's up in Jersey, so it's probably even colder in Boston.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Just what we need.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the challenges ahead when we come back. You know what you want to do? You want to keep it locked right here to Locked On Canes. And I hope you're keeping it locked to LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. You add your job in the purple #hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile and spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. By the way, if you want to take
what
your
was that?
Was I a little off key today?
What are you, Pavarotti or something like that?
In another life, maybe I was. If you want to take your everydayer experience to the next level, sign up for Locked On Canes Insiders. I include the link in the show description below. In fact, I've got it down there in the crawl. You can get text messages directly from my phone to yours, breaking news, recruiting updates, insights on the program, show previews, one-on-ones. You can ask me questions on there. I think either Thursday or Friday or both, we're going to be doing Q&As on the show. So have those questions coming in for later in the week. If you want to try Locked On Canes Insiders for free for 14 days, sign up with the link in the show description below. Then if you like it, you can opt in for $4.99 a month. We give you a lot of extra added value on there. So Bruce Warner is with us. So Bruce, I think you were kind of spot on in saying anything could happen this week, right? Miami could lose a tight one, win a tight one, lose in a blowout, win in a blowout. I hope they don't. Obviously, I want to win the game. No moral victories, but I'd be really, really disappointed if they lose in blowout fashion, because that would kind of tell you that, the players have mentally checked out for the year, which up to this point we have not seen, right? I think we saw it last year, late in the year. A lot of guys were hurt. The guys who weren't just kind of checked out. This team all season long, Bruce, I mean, they have 4 losses, but they fought like hell in every one of those losses. They fought like hell in every one of their wins. That's been the MO of this team to this point. And no matter what happens on Saturday, fight like there's no tomorrow.
And it's the last home game. Look, I don't agree with a lot of this slowing stuff down, but Louisville does have a high-powered offense. So I'm guessing that Miami may still do a lot of the same in running the clock, let the clock run, and run the ball a lot. I'm sure we're going to see Louisville with 2 deep safeties again, and let's see what Van Dyke can do. Or is he going to force things again?
Right.
And I think that's the way they can win this game. They've got to shorten the game. He has got to be locked in with his receivers. And I'm assuming he will, because he can throw. He's had his moments. But it just seems that he does lock into the first guy before his checking down. They're forcing him to check down. Yeah. I think he's very confused as to what to do. I think he's afraid to throw the ball sometimes if there's 2 guys there. And we talked about this a lot on my Wednesday night show with LT, but he's got it's up here now.
Yeah.
He's probably mentally fried. So they have to have some good things happen. If he gets going, then I think he's going to have a good game. But if they fall behind again and he's forced to do things, then I think they're going to be in trouble. I think they could win this game. I'm not saying they can't.
Yeah,
I'm actually excited about it because I want to see what we can do under these circumstances. By the way, I'm getting a lot of Facebook requests. So if you people want to Facebook request, I'll be your friend. I'll accept it and we'll talk. We don't have to just do this on Tuesday because there's really we really don't communicate because this show's not on until a couple hours from now. So that's okay. You can just look me up and Facebook request me and I'll come back to it. Oh, here's my thought. Here's my thought.
Yeah.
I think that if Mario sees opportunities, I think, and I'm just guessing, that he's had his discussions with Ja'Cory Brown. I think the kid's going to get in the game with certain packages.
I hope so.
Even assuming that what I said before is correct, that he wants out, I think he's going to honor his commitment to the school, and he'll play. I think there should be packages for him. That would really screw up Louisville's defense. I don't know if they could put 2 safeties back because that would mean it's 11 against 9 up front, and he could take off. He can do more things than our other quarterbacks. Can he throw the ball? Yeah, maybe short. He could even play action and throw deep. He does have an arm.
He's got a great arm.
He's got a great arm. So for me, I think to put him in, I don't care what he wants to do, I would put him in this game. I'm sure they've discussed it with him and get him ready for certain packages and let him do his thing.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And obviously, for Van Dyke as the starter, I definitely worry about his mentality because I agree with what you said, that I think most of his issues this year have been between the ears and have been with his confidence. And he comes off being benched, right? And he's back. Now, here's what Mario Cristobal had to say about how Van Dyke is handling this new opportunity. He said, quote, "Being a quarterback in Miami, you've got to be tough. You've got to have thick skin. You've got to be a competitor. He's all that. He handled last week like a pro, which means disappointed, upset, really fought hard all week. And it was a great week of practice by both guys, Emory being the other one. In fact, at the end of the week, staff felt like, man, we've made a lot of progress. It felt like as a staff and as players together, we did a better job of putting things together, knowing it was going to be a difficult game to move the ball against, particularly through the air, where they had all excelled, talking about Florida State. But because of his performance last week, because of his determination and past success, that's what your job is as a coach, to provide clarity, remove the clutter, and make people better. And he has done really, really well. He's handled everything really well, and he has the confidence of his teammates and coaches. So that is Mario Cristobal on Tyler Van Dyke. And honestly, Bruce,
clarity, I don't think there's been much clarity coming from him.
Well,
but here's another thing. What happens if Ja'Cory gets in and does really, really well?
I think you ride the hot hand.
Groundswell of the fans pushing for him to start the last game, start the bowl game, be in the mix with Emory come springtime, and tell him, don't transfer, stay here.
Yes,
that can happen.
100%. Ride the hot hand.
I'd like that if that happens.
I'd like to think it's more likely that Brown stays than Van Dyke stays here next year. I mean, even if the odds may be both guys transfer, I'd like to think there's a better chance we hold on to Brown.
Right, and I think that's part of the dilemma, is if in fact he told the coaching staff, I want out after this year, I don't want to play. Because I know there's been some talk, I can't say, but it's been honored. He has not played.
Yeah.
Now you're down a quarterback.
Yeah.
What happens if Van Dyke gets hit? What happens if he's not doing well? Do you keep him on the bench? Then everybody on the planet knows he doesn't want to play.
Right, because
I know he doesn't want to get hurt. Who wants to get hurt?
No,
but I think he needs to. I think he should play regardless. Sometimes of what Van Dyke is doing. Unless we're blowing Louisville out, but still, that's not going to happen.
I agree. And guys, I just want you to know later this week, I will have a crossover episode with Locked On Louisville. So we're going to go behind enemy lines later on this week. Huge thank you to the Truth Teller for taking time as always. And by the way, I love the hat. I love the story about your father. And we absolutely support the troops here on Locked On Canes. As you guys know, one of our great listeners passed away a couple of weeks ago. It's still in our YouTube live chats. It is not the same without War Beast. We're so sorry you're gone. God bless your family, your children, and your wife. Otto Liller, Brigadier General Otto Liller, passed away a couple weeks ago. He was always first guy in the YouTube live chats, always so encouraging, so nice, pumping everybody up, supporting the show. We miss you so much, Otto. We miss you. Rest in peace. So, Bruce, thank you so much for taking the time, sir.
Where did he die from?
Heart attack.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just one of those things.
I'm going to get a heart attack.
I appreciate your time, my friend. He's the Truth Teller. You can find him on Facebook. Request him on there. He will be accepting your requests, as he noted earlier on in the show.
Yeah, so we could talk about this stuff. Not when I'm on with you.
Right.
I have no problem with doing this. I do what I want in my law practice, so I can do it. But anyway, thanks for having me. Love doing the show with you, and I'll talk to you soon. And if there's anybody you want me to talk to during the game in the players' suite, just text me, and I'll.
You let me know who you're expecting in there, and we'll chat about it. And guys, I want to thank you for supporting the show. If you want to subscribe, if you listen to the audio version, we're available on Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, Google Pods, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review. We do have some 5-star reviews we're going to shout out later this week, some new ones. And if you want to subscribe to the video version on YouTube, do that and hit the thumbs up button, hit that like button on this video, and make sure you subscribe. And we'll talk to you again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.